What's up, everybody? Back with another episode today. I have a amazing guest coming on that's going to be sharing her story, her process, as well as how her success has been with us here. But I have none other than Marissa. Thank you for hopping on today.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. All right, so let's hop right into it. I actually don't know this. Can you walk us through like what got you into the life insurance space in general? A little backstory of how you got into the life insurance space.
Absolutely. So, how I got into life insurance was I was a server and I was kind of just, I was making pretty good money for my age, the amount of hours I was working. And honestly, like, I just wanted more. I just wanted to be making more money. And I started like digging on Instagram and I kind of couldn't find anything. And it was just everyone selling a course and everything like that. So I decided to swipe up on someone's story that was like, DM me for an opportunity. Swiped up on that person's story, and then I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but took the test and we've been here since. And that was about a little over a year ago now.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Actually didn't know that. All right, so fast forward a little bit, and I want to get back to what you did before because I feel like it does suit you, but we'll see how it ties in with your script.
Okay.
So tell us about your first 30 days in the life insurance space. Was it easy? Was it tough? Did you get your teeth kicked in?
Yeah, so honestly, my first 30 days kind of sucked. The reason why, though, I kind of reflected on it now, like now being a little bit longer into the business, is that I was looking for quick money. Like, I wanted to make quick money so bad, and I was just wanting to replace the serving at the time so badly. So, like, when I made my first or second sale, I was kind of just like, cool with it. Like I didn't want to keep going. And that was just because it was more money than I've ever seen before. But then after like my first 30 days, also too, because I was a server and this is not a like you're not selling yourself off your like appearance and your personality. Like you're being like you're helping someone's family. You're helping someone get paid at the end of the day. You have to be serious and intentional. And that was something that was really hard for me to get a click on. But once it clicked for me, it's been skyrocket for me. But it did take a long time for that to click because I was selling off my personality rather than like being dominant and being able to hold control and talk over people. And that was so hard for me to do. I'm very friendly. I don't like to do those types of things. So the first 30 days was really hard for me to grip that and like be professional. I was getting told I need to think about it a lot. And that made me so mad.
Okay. Now, this is actually really good. This is really good. Let's dive into that. What was that moment that made you like shift? Was it just a whole bunch of like, yo, I'm tired of getting this? Did you speak to somebody? Like what was that moment that you switched and went directly into like, I'm just gonna take control?
Yeah. So honestly, I was just getting so mad. I'm very competitive and I was just getting almost like pissed. Like it made me like infuriated that like other people next to me were reading the same script, dialing the same leads, doing the same exact things that I was and I wasn't selling. And I was getting it just made me so mad to the point where I was like, all right, this is it. Like I'm gonna sit here and I'm already doing all the work. I'm dialing. I need to figure out what these top producers are doing and figure that out and implement it into my own story because clearly something's not right. Like I was sitting here blaming the leads, sitting here blaming the script, everything. Everything was just not me. I wasn't blaming myself at all. I wasn't taking no accountability. And once I finally like pointed the finger to myself, that's when things changed. I was like, no, it's not the leads, it's not the script, it's you, it's me, it's my mindset. I was being negative and I just kind of wasn't trusting the process that this is a copy and paste business, period. Everything in life insurance is copy and paste. We're all doing the same thing.
Right.
So once that kind of clicked for me there, it was just kind of was able to apply things better. I was able to be more coachable. I was watching trainings. I would read The Psychology of Sales over and over and over again in the shower, gym, ride to work. I was always listening to something, and I still even do that now. But getting my mind right too, like going to the gym in the morning and just being on a routine has definitely been able to help me do better and sell more for sure.
No, 100%. I was really excited to have you on here genuinely because like obviously you're slinging a bunch of insurance, which we'll get to, but also like you're a woman. And I hear a lot from women that want to sell veterans. They're like, oh, well, like they're not going to listen to me and I'm not like an authority frame. Like if I'm an agent who's complaining about that, like what do you say to them?
So honestly, that was my problem too in the beginning. That's why the first like probably 90 days I really wasn't selling that much, to be honest. And the reason why was because I was to being too friendly, which happens to girls. You kind of just want to sell off personality. But the way that shifted for me and how things have like really transformed for me was holding control of the conversation. So I start off the call and I'm just loud and I'm just really taking the control in the first 90 seconds of the call. So once we get a little bit more into it, I'm letting them kind of think that they have the control, but the second I need them, I'm snapping back and getting them right back in. Okay, circling back here. So God forbid, and I'm like right back into this, like right back into it. Now, the reason why I feel like I was able to make that switch was just being confident and faking it. So these people that they're veterans, they've been taking commands their whole life. So they want to do what everyone else is going to do. If you use like things like most other people, most other veterans. So by being like commanding and being confident and just taking the control and basically like I want them to be a little bit scared to even tell me no. Because then I'd get in front of those I need to think about or I need to talk to my wife. Okay, well, didn't you just tell me that you're the breadwinner? So why do you need to talk to your wife? You need this, you want it, we're buying it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this taken care of. Like just not being scared to like be straightforward. These people just want you to be straightforward, and I feel like I was just beating around the bush for so long, and I just stopped doing that. And I feel like they like me more now.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, honestly, like I think that's the key. A lot of times, especially with veterans in general, it's just like taking control of the call. And I think it's pretty dope. I feel like if you can control the call like you do as a woman, I feel like you'll probably close more because they
Yeah.
respect you a whole lot more. They're like, oh snap, like, she's on it, she knows what she's saying, etc. Let's fast forward. You started getting it, things were kind of rolling. What do you do in terms of like your schedule? I kind of want to break that down really quickly. Like, I'm a new agent, Marissa. I want to write as much as you. I want to do these things. What are you doing on a day to day from, let's just go through kind of like your day from wake up, like sun up to sundown. When you get to the office, just kind of walk an agent through who's looking at your numbers or looking at what you're doing and trying to copy your blueprint.
So honestly, my day to day, I feel like the most important part of my day is the beginning of the day, what I do for my mind. So at least an hour in the gym or at least an hour like I'm a girl, so Pilates sometimes, like just at least an hour of working out. That's something that I enjoy. But me, for my new agents, I would just say go on a walk, go on a run, do something that you enjoy for at least an hour. And then before I obviously good breakfast on the way to work, driving here. Once I'm here, I have a notebook and I'll write down my goals every single day, manifest kind of, and I just kind of just write everything that I want to achieve for the day, something that I could work on and something that I'm grateful for. I feel like it just helps me stay grounded and kind of stay like level-headed. And then I set the goal for myself that no matter what, every single day, I'm gonna at least do minimum two before 2 o'clock. So two sales before two, and no one comes and talk. If someone comes to talk to me and I'm on the phone, like of course I'm gonna help them and answer a question. But there's absolutely no getting out of this chair, not even go to the bathroom. You are not leaving this chair until you have two before 2 p.m. every single day. So that's kind of the standard that I hold for myself. And then once I've hit two before two, then I'll get up, go grab lunch, come right back, work on some recruiting things, get right back onto the phones. And then typically I'm on the phone till minimum like 9 to 10 every single day. And then on Thursdays, or I'm sorry, Wednesdays and Fridays, like I'll do Hawaii and like late night dials. But my bare minimum, I'm always doing at least 10 to 12 hours a day on the phones, going home, at least kind of taking care of my body, resting, doing like something for myself, whether that's doom scrolling or doing something, just let myself go. For a new agent as well, I would recommend putting screen times on your social media because jumping back to a question you asked me earlier of how I was doing in the first 30 days, I was not doing good because I was also sitting there and not intentionally dialing. So I'm laser focused dialing when I'm here, no matter what. Not doom scrolling, not doing anything. And that was really getting in the way from me dialing, for especially in the beginning. So screen times, I still have them on my phone now. They're great.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's super crucial, especially for agents who are having trouble focusing. And I don't want anybody that's listening to miss the keys. You literally said, like, you're going to sit down, you're not going to move, you're not going to pee, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to sit in your seat and dial. And, like,
Yes.
if you just work the numbers, like, it will work out in your favor. And I think that you've understood that. I forgot to ask something, and I know it wasn't our lead, so I don't actually care. But when you were doing your first 30 days, 90, like what leads were you working? Because I don't even think we talked. I know we said veterans, but like were they fresh or you don't have to name the company, but were they
Age.
fresh or aged? Okay,
The
so
only the only high 10 I've ever done ever was lead lab, but this was the first time I've ever done high intent. I've only ever done age, and I was ripping on age. Like I was ripping. So the fact that like I got sold to be on high intent was is crazy because my profit levels were unreal. But obviously, like I took that and doubled it this past month, which is great. But I was really nervous to take the risk on doing high intent leads, period. I've only ever ripped age. So I was always like fighting tooth and nail with these people. I'm like, you sent in the request at some point. Like, come on. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. No,
But
I think that's important for people to understand. Like doing age leads is a grind. It's good though because it builds you up. Which I would ask now as somebody that you've been doing the high intense for what, like now I guess this is going on a month too. So you're almost at a year. So basically your first 10 months, all you writ was age, right? And then you got into fresh leads. So I actually want to know because I don't know this. Have you seen any differences between for you talked about a little bit between like aged and fresh? Is it less dial time? Because I hear a lot of agents, and I know the answer, but I think it'd be good for them to hear. Like, well, I'm gonna buy fresh leads, and I'm just gonna like call them a little bit because I don't have to work them. Like, what is your thought process on working fresh leads? What have you seen? What are the biggest differences? What are some takeaways for an agent who's trying to decide, or is you a month and a half ago? What's that perspective that you could give them?
100%. So age leads for sure, like I was burning them. Like at the time I was scared to throw money into like any lead. I was just nervous. I didn't want to do
Uh-huh.
that. That was just something that made me uncomfortable. So when I bought a lead or bought something, like I was squeezing anything out of it possible, period.
Right.
So now too, when I'm on the high intense, I'm doing the same thing. It doesn't mean you're dialing less. It just honestly is helpful to get more like deals out on the day, in my personal opinion, because having that like just going up and down the list, like now I have like a good amount of leads where I'm able to go back and forth. But when they were starting to trickle in the very beginning, like probably a month ago now, I was jumping from high intent to volume, high intent to volume. So I was still like having that good balance of age and high intent that never made just because I started paying more money for high intent. If anything, it made me work triple times harder because this is the most money I've ever thrown into leads. Like when I put in the amount of leads I do now, I'm like, me 2 months ago would be sick. Like actually. So I now I'm like, this is an absolute non-negotiable that we're doing at least 20K a week. Like it's not happening. We have to. So I don't know, just setting non-negotiables and honestly putting myself in like an uncomfortable position has made me work harder. To answer your question is I think that just because it is high intent doesn't mean you get to they're not as easy. They're not. You definitely have to be like, gotta know what you're talking about for sure. And you have to work them just as if you were working in H1 and you'll see good results if you do the same.
Got you. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I know the answer, but I want to hear from your perspective. Well, Marissa, if I'm gonna buy high intent, then why should I buy high? If I'm gonna start to work the same amount of hours, why do I buy? What's the purpose of me buying high intent then?
So me personally, like I have wanted to double what I've been doing. Age, you can only go so far. And a lot of the leads you're going through are disconnected numbers. They're not qualified. They're a shopper. Just like honestly, like going on high intent, it really helps eliminate a lot of those problems that I was falling into on leads. So yes, obviously, like okay, you could get a little bit more profitable on leads, but your time is your money. And I've honestly been able to get more closes and do my best month ever this past month. And I didn't do anything differently except start spending money on high intent leads, but because I was also saving time because I was closing more. So it gets in front of like the disconnected number. Okay, we hang up. Now I'm on to the next. Like now I'm on a high intent where that's not really happening to me almost ever. And because of that, like I'm already could be possibly in a presentation with somebody else. Just so it's definitely saves time. And again, your time is your money.
Right. No, 100%. And now we're going to segue into a great transition because I think this is dope. So first of all, let's start at a high, let's go low, and let's come back. So
Okay.
you said that you wrote a lot. Can you give the people that are listening, how much did you write in your first full month of running the high intense with us?
Okay, so my numbers didn't come out yet, but I know I did it. I did 50K submitted business, which is my best month ever. And I also did just want to add off OTPs only, which never this just never happened to me before. I did a 34K week. So that was this past month, and that was my first whole month on the lead labs. I don't know why I'm saying age, but Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Y'all know if you watch this or if you've gotten this far and you watch any of my videos, I try to be as transparent as they come. I think that's part of the reason people like working with us. We're not perfect. Some things aren't always great, and I like these to be very transparent. Now, let me take a step back. We were actually supposed to record this video last week, but Marissa hopped on a call and brought something to my attention. So I want you to tell them, because they don't need to hear it from me, what you brought to my attention, what we changed, what we did, and I want you to be very transparent about our conversation, why we didn't record that day, and then why we're recording today, and kind of some of the things that's changed from your perspective, please.
100%. So let me tell you the difference about the call that we're having right now. It's the call we had last week. Last week, I hopped on the Zoom and I was excited to do the Zoom. I was excited to do the podcast, but I just didn't have a good day. And the day before that, I just didn't have a good day either. And I was honestly like upset. And I don't know, I threw like a good amount of money into the leads from the past week, dripped in, I was ready to rip, and they just like weren't really like smacking like they usually do. So honestly, when we hopped on the Zoom to do the podcast, I was like, you immediately kind of just saw my energy was just not there. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I'm wasting your time. I'm so sorry. But what we did was we just kind of went through like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, what's the problem? And I just basically was just like, honestly, the leads right now, like, they're not really hitting as hard. And I don't understand why. Like, I don't know what changed. I don't know what happened. Like, if you scroll up from the beginning of my sheet, like almost every single one was green. And I was just kind of like upset. But then we went through it together and we kind of just saw like what ads, you got to see what ads like weren't working. And I'm honestly happy that we had that conversation because now like it's like everything's good now. And I'm like back to like normal, I guess I would say. But I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Okay.
You're good. You're good. That was the point I wanted to make. So just for clarity for those that are listening, like I try to be transparent. We have tons of agents that are crushing it. We've had over now 700 agents who've IP 40K a month. We have tons of these videos. We have over 200 of these videos now. But like everything's not perfect. And I don't want anybody watching this to think it's perfect because I also don't want to paint the picture I have a perfect company because then you're going to come in and if it's not perfect, you're going to be mad at me or my team, right? I like to be transparent. And I was like that with Marissa. I literally pulled up her sheet. Like I heard exactly what she said. I didn't say, "Oh, it's you." Now, I will say if y'all know me, if I don't think an agent's good, I'll be like, "Yo, it's you." You know what I mean? But I know she's good because she's just submitted business. So it's like, all right, we talked through it, and she actually thugged it out for like the first really week and a half of July, what she's not telling y'all. She kind of was like not crushing it, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to complain," and she's like, "I don't want to be complaining type." And I was like, "Yo, you're good." Because this is the part of the business I like. When you work with people like herself, like people on her team, like people in her office that don't even want to come to you to complain because they're so down, then they're willing to take accountability. But I offer people coming to me and she felt like she was complaining. I didn't even hear it like that. It resonated to me like somebody who wants to continue to work and continue to give us business and we see it as a partnership. So she brought her issues to the table. We literally pulled up her Google sheet. We went through everything. I calculated her cost to acquire a client. We looked at all the leads she was getting. And then we detailed out a very simple game plan. And I said, look, let's do this. Let's put a hold on ordering some leads for a little bit. Let's go back and rework them, reassign them, which I'm sure she did, etc. And then I was like, let's reconvene. Let's talk again on Tuesday. And I went through and identified where all of our closes were coming from, not just saying they were coming from these leads, but actually going in and looking at the ads themselves and then pulling out those ads and then saying, hey, let's go and adjust some things to make sure that we can improve the leads. And I told her I appreciated it. She was like, oh, I waste your time. I'm like, no, 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 no. If I don't get that feedback, we don't scale. Like I'm not in your office. I don't see your sheet. So if that data is not given to me or my team, we're just like everything's good. And that's what I really appreciate. So I wanted to make sure everybody was clear about that because it's dope that she wrote 50, right? She's had a 34K week, but I don't even want to call it a low, but it's not always hidden. And I think it's important
100%.
for people to understand that so they know that when they come to work with us, they are going to make a lot of money. We're going to be super transparent. But when things do happen, as long as you bring it to us, you're going to be good. If you don't, though, and I live by this, like if you treat us like a traditional lead vendor and you don't communicate, you will get traditional lead vendor results, which is 1 or 2 months of it hidden, and then it just absolutely tanks. And it's because you don't communicate. But she did a great job communicating. So back to the good stuff. All right. So, anyways, we had to address that. Now, I do want to hop in. Now, you don't have to go through your entire script. What I'd rather you do is you've read the psychology of the sale, so you already know. So, I want to know what is Marissa's psychology of the sale. You can start from intro and go to close and just kind of walk us through like how you think through each segment of the sale. I'll give you the floor, you 10, 15 minutes, whatever time you need. This is really where I want you to kind of give us a master class on how we write 50K or how we write 34K in a week, please.
Okay. So honestly, big thing for me as far as like going through the call and going through the sale is kind of qualifying them in the beginning as quickly as possible. And the reason why I like to get them kind of qualified or interested in the very, very beginning is because I don't want to waste my time. I could go on to the next person and already be through and presenting to them. But I try to get rid of the shoppers absolutely immediately. I'm not here to give you just the price. We're going through it together. I'm going to hold your hand. But basically, in the beginning, like I like to set micro commitments and basically just throw their why back into their face like 10 times. Okay, got it, John. So, God forbid if you were to pass away, like tell me, what would that look like for your wife if she didn't have this in place? But you have to go into debt, but you have to ask for help. Like, I'm asking these hard questions because this person probably didn't even think about this until I called him, until I talked to him on the phone today. So the more questions that I'm asking them in the beginning, the better it is. If I get hung up on, great. Thank you. Thank you, John, for saving me my time. Now I'm on to the next person. I don't care. I'd rather get hung up on or to get cursed out. I don't care. I ask the most amount of questions to get the most amount of micro commitments, along with trying to build a yes ladder, always getting them to say yes makes the call very positive. Also, I'm always trying to ask a question. Okay, got it, John. I'm happy to hear that you already have some life insurance in place. Now, I'm assuming in my interest, assuming in my best interest, I'm assuming that today's main goal, you were just wanting to leave some extra money behind given what you have today. That was nowhere near enough to cover everything for your wife. Is that correct? So always just kind of assuming in my best interest and always just kind of like if they already have coverage, making it seem tinier, making it smaller, spending the coverage, just honestly being quick and always being nice, never matching this crazy loud tonality, but always holding the confidence in the call and the tonality. That is definitely my biggest thing for sure, as well as the why. We think about it at the end of the day, these people, they're buying an invisible product. They're never going to see this product ever. So you need to paint the picture for them. Whoever paints the picture the best is how you're going to close the most. I want these people to tell me, yeah, my wife will go in today. Okay, perfect, John. We'll make sure we get this in place today. There should be no reason why I don't close that person. Now, another thing that I like to do as well is when we're going over their income and their budget and making sure obviously that this is affordable for them, I'm making them commit to a price. Got it. So most other veterans in your position that are just wanting to take care of the burial, just wanting to take care of their mortgage, whatever their why is, I'll insert that there. Their monthly premium amount is typically going to be around 150 to 100. Is that going to be comfortable for you? And I like saying most other people, most other veterans, most other families, comparing them to somebody else because then it seems like, okay, well, that person's doing it. So why am I not going to do it? So obviously just comparing them like that, making that micro commitment there. Okay, got it. They've committed to the price. They've told me the why. There's no reason now why I should not close this person, period. And then also something else I like to do as well, right before I give like I kind of present over like numbers or anything like that, I kind of ask them, I'm like, is there a reason why we haven't like taken care of this already? Like, what are we waiting for? And then they kind of restate their why or an issue that they had in the past right then and there so I can clear it up for them right before I'm about to close them.
That's gems.
That's kind of got what I got at the moment.
Got you. No. You went crazy. I really like how you pre-frame them before you close them too, to like get that last yes just before you go into the close. I do want to talk about that because you do write some pretty big policies, and I know people kind of have this back and forth between, oh, I can invite veterans like they don't have a lot of money, and then some people say they do, which I believe they do relative to like a final expense lead. But when
Yeah.
you close, how are you pitching the close? Like, are you going with one option, then downselling? Are you showing all three and then like narrowing them down to two? Like, just give me a fake example,
Sure.
or at least for the people. Like, what is your thought process behind the close? Are you just pitching the number? Are you pitching the concept and the number? Like, what does that look like for you?
So what it looks like is in the income part, I'm definitely trying to get how much they're bringing in a month or how much they're bringing in a year. Either one is fine, but I just need to make sure that they can afford what I'm about to present to them. So like if they're bringing in less than $200 a month, which sometimes they are broke and that does happen. So I'm not going to pitch them anything over 50. And if their age doesn't qualify, I'm going to tell them right then and there, "Hey, listen, I don't think this is going to work. I'm saving myself from a chargeback and my time.
Hmm.
So on to the next." But if I do see somebody as well that their income is pretty okay, I'm trying to figure out something that is going to fit within their income there. Now, when I do give them like prices and present them some numbers and everything like that, I'm always making sure that the two buckets that I give them are well within their price range and there's no I need to think about it. There's absolutely no thinking about it. Nothing to think about. You told me you can afford it. $60 to $80 was comfortable for you. We're gonna go ahead. It's 60 and 80. Boom, you're picking one. Now, once I get towards the approval process, we're kind of going through the motions. At the end, I'll be like, okay, perfect. I do got some good news, got some bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? Okay, awesome. Now, John, starting on the first of the month, the bad news is you're going to be stuck with me as your life insurance agent for life. Hope that's not too bad news. If it is, I'm offended. The good news is that you were approved up to $50,000. Let that sink in. Let's just say we went in for the 10,000. Okay, got it. So do you want to see maybe what more coverage would look like? Always, always, always go back
Mm.
and adjust. Yeah, what does 50,000 look like? Yeah, so 50,000, that is going to probably cost an arm and a leg. But let's take a look. It is recommending 20,000 for you. And then that's usually how I upsell them. And I upsell them usually at the end. Just because like I built rapport, I have everything. They're locked in. I literally have everything. I'm at the end. Like I'm telling them that I'm gonna send them a policy packet. And they're like getting curiosity. Yeah, you were approved up to XYZ. Do you want to see what that would look like? Every single time they say yes. So then I just go back and give them some options. And sometimes, of course, I'm not gonna go from $80 premium to like $350. Like, no.
Right.
I'm gonna obviously, if it's not affordable and comfortable, I'm gonna confirm it a couple of times too. Okay, got it. And again, that 50,000 for that $300 a month, that's gonna be comfortable, correct? Okay, got that. So we're gonna be able to fit that in the budget, is that correct? And sometimes after the second time, I'm not trying to shoot myself in the foot, but they'll be like, okay, yeah, maybe we can go down a little bit. Perfect. They're recommending that 44,000. Let's go ahead and just stick with that. That's right within your budget. Good to go. You got a little more coverage. So I'm not really ever, if I'm downselling, it just means that they're unsure and broke and scared to buy it. It's the time that I'll downsell it for sure. But I always try to hit them with the upsell if I know that they have a little wiggle room, if that makes sense, and their why is kind of strong enough.
Yeah, that's fire. I want to go back real quick because I wanted to let you finish first. Something that I want everybody to understand that I didn't realize you were doing, but it's fire, is you talked about leads. So you had fresh leads and you were still running age. And then you talked about how you literally are not afraid to walk away from the sale. The only way that you can write 50,000, 34,000 in a week is that you have to be strategic with your time. So for people that are listening, it's super important for you to recognize that she is not taking on the opportunity to go through a Prezi with somebody who is going to waste her time. So she's buying fresh leads to buy her time back. And then she's willing to let a fresh lead go to go find an actual fresh lead that's willing to close. Most
Yes.
agents are so attached. Oh, I spent 40 bucks for this lead that they're like they're squeezing anything out of people that really don't need it. Or if you're trying to close somebody that's a chargeback because you're trying to squeeze. Whereas her thought process is, I'm gonna have fresh to buy my time back, and I'm still gonna have age to run, even if the fresh is coming in. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking for the right opportunity. Yes, the goal is to get as many prezzies as possible, but the goal is really to get as many prezzies that are good as possible. It's not just to get prezzies. Anybody can just go get presentations every day. But if you
Yeah.
spend your day, there's only so many presentations you can do in a day. So you need to get rid of the ones that are a waste of your time and focus on the ones that are. And that literally only comes from what she said, which is she's literally willing to walk away. You have to be willing to walk away. You have to be transparent and honest with anybody that you're speaking with, especially veterans, and just tell them the truth. And if they don't have enough money, be like, hey, this is not a good fit. You're going to charge back anyways. Like, hey, this is probably not good. You probably need to save some money, whatever. Hop off the phone, get to the next lead, right? Because there's somebody that is going to be worth your time. And if her goal is to close two before two, like she's dialed in. Like she don't have time to be like sitting here for an hour for somebody that's not going to work. And I think that's super important for agents to recognize. Wrapping up, because I know I'm a little over, so I appreciate your time. I want to transition into your experience working with us as a company. We talked obviously about sales and like you're crushing it, but I think it's good for people to know. Imagine I'm an agent. I've never worked with Agent Lead Lab. Can you walk us through just what to expect from, you can obviously talk a little bit about the leads, but talk about like kind of our community, all the other things that we have for somebody that isn't really a part of it, but they're on the outside looking in and may want to get tapped in with us.
For sure. So outside looking in, all the other lead vendors, companies I've worked with before in the past, it's not really like as one-on-one like as I get the experience with lead labs is if I need like a replacement of a lead or something like that versus another company, if it's disconnected or the person's too old, whatever the case may be, it'll take like a day or two. And I'm like, I don't have time to do that. Like, at least I see that like when I'm messaging like Faith and Austin, they're getting back to me like within the hour. Like, hey, we see you. We got you. Don't worry. And when I close, like they're always hyping me up. Like Austin texted me a couple days ago. He's like, I feel like every time I look at my phone, you're always closing. Like it's just like such a good community and it's just such fire people like surrounded. I also love like seeing everyone drop in the chat. Also, a lot of my people in the office are on Lead Lab too. So all of us just talk about how sauce the leads are. Like more than half the time I'll call someone and they're like, yeah, I actually just saw this lead last night, or not lead, ad, I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like I just saw this ad last night. And thanks for getting back to me. I'm like, thank you for answering.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But everything's pretty spot on for sure. Like obviously you're gonna get through the shoppers and people that are just wanting to check out prices. And honestly, the way that I get through that, I'm literally like, listen, are we buying life insurance or you just want to hear the price? They'll straight up tell you, I just want to hear the price. Okay, well, if you just wanted to hear the price, I'd be out of job. I'm not here to just sit and give you the price. So if you want to give me the time of day, no problem. You clicked on the ad, we're going to go through this together. And if they don't, they don't. On to the next, whatever. But they're pretty straightforward. They know what I'm talking about. And that's really all that matters to me is that they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know they need it. And they're like, oh, if they remember clicking on it, like, sure, not every single person I talk to is a close. No. Or I would be, I don't even know, I'd be in a Porsche. But the point is that they're definitely more qualified and they know what I'm talking about and they know they need it. And they're wise. Always I can get it because they're listing down their beneficiary and the name. Like that's juice. I'm literally like saying in the first 90 seconds of the call, hi, Lisa, I do see that you listed your beneficiary as Bob. Is that correct? You capture attention immediately. Like having the beneficiary name is also so sauce. And I've never had that with any other lead vendors. So outside looking in, communities fire, leads fire, all around fire. Just honestly, I would just recommend being consistent because I feel like I wouldn't have been able to have my record-breaking month last month if I didn't stay consistent the first week. I really didn't like go crazy. And then I bought another batch of leads because I just like sticking to one lead vendor. And I already made the switch. I was like, we're just gonna do it. We have to stick through this. And I worked everything up and down, up and down, up and down. I was getting to the point where it was like, this is concerning how many times you're calling these people. But then I had my best week ever that same week. So I would just stay consistent by for sure too.
100%. Well, I appreciate you for hopping on. Thank you for dropping the gems. I know we went over a little bit, so I appreciate your time. I'm sure you have a lot of other things to do, but thank you for hopping on. For anybody that's interested in tapping in with her, just reach out to whoever sent you the video, or if you found us anywhere, get in contact with the rep, go to the website, whatever. I'm sure she'd be more than open to having a conversation or potentially having you on her team, depending on how saucy you're trying to get. So appreciate you for hopping on. And then everybody that's watching, thank you guys for your time today. I will see you all next time.